I'm Amber Davis and welcome to Call to Stage. This is the space where musical theatre takes centre stage. From unforgettable backstage stories with incredible special guests to insights from my life and my theatre journey. We're leaving it all on the mic every single week, so let's jump in. Hi guys, welcome back to Call to Stage with me, Amber Davis. I am dusting off cobwebs today with my wonderful guest, who I'm going to introduce in a second. But I've had a 2-month sabbatical because I was focusing on The Great Gatsby, and now I am back and roaring and ready to go. So I would like to bend my knee to the king of theatre, Mr. Simon Lipkin.
Right. The king?
The king. I was talking to your fiance about you
Oh, God.
a couple of days ago because I was doing my research on you.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on. I said, is Fagin his first nomination for an Olivier?
Yeah. She dropped the mic. It's a mic drop. It's a mic drop.
I'm sorry. Why? How?
Well, because do you want to know how I actually describe myself?
Go on.
The Will Ferrell of the musical theatre world.
You are.
I
That is you.
entertain a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes me. Some people find me a little bit annoying. Lots of
Okay.
people find me very funny. But critically, it never happens.
Okay. I like that you like stand strong on that.
But I'm all right with that. I know what I do. I'm an all right actor.
Oh,
No, but it's all right.
Simon, I think
I can do funny.
you can do funny really well.
I can do funny.
You can do heart. You've got heart. I saw your Olivier performance, and I'm yet to come and see Oliver.
How dare you?
I know. Do you know what else I haven't seen yet?
Because you've got like 3 weeks left.
I know. I do.
At time of recording.
Yeah. Let's get the first question out of the way because I ask this to everyone
Right.
because I find it such an interesting question. As Fagin,
Yeah.
have you got any quirky or like odd pre-show ritual that you do?
Yeah, there's a couple of weird ones. So I'm not really much of like a get into character kind of guy. I always feel like you should just do all the work in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
And then it will just be there.
Yeah.
And I'm also not a good enough actor to find like a completely different character to myself. So it's always just like a version of Simon.
Yeah. I like
And I
that.
think that's all right.
Yeah.
Like some people really take themselves out of it and do all of that. It's just not. I'm not good enough to do that. It's not how I get there. But I put on the costume and the wig and I wear a thing on my head, a little hat called a yarmulke, which is like a Jewish hat.
Yeah.
And we can get onto it, but the Jewishness of Fagin was super important to me.
Yeah.
Just because it's always been a little bit of a slightly anti-Semitic part, the way it's been portrayed and stuff like that. So in my little yarmulke, I have my Hebrew name, Shimon ben Mordechai, embroidered into the hat.
Oh my God.
I just asked the costume designer, I was like, can you put that in there for me? So every time I put the wig on and then they give me the hat, and there's a thing that you do with certain bits of Jewish clothing. And I should also point out, like, I'm Jewish. Like, I am fully Jewish, but I'm like just mainly in it for the food and the money.
Okay, Jewish.
Like, yeah, Jewish.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I like the celebrations. I like all the bagels and the bagels and the snacks. Everything to do with the actual religion. I'm like, everyone just do what you want.
Yeah.
But
I love how honest you are.
yeah,
Simon Honest Lipkin.
but the culture and the race, that's super important.
Yeah, that's in your DNA.
Yeah, right. So I have my little Hebrew name, Shimon ben Mordechai, in my hat. So it's Simon, son of Matthew. That's your Hebrew name. And I just give it a little kiss, and then I put it on my head, and then it's like, here we go. Just a little connection with that.
That
thing.
is the cutest pre-show ritual.
Thanks.
And meaningful.
Yeah.
And so you. No one else. That is you.
Weird, isn't it?
Weird.
Weird.
Lovely.
Wow.
Heartfelt.
Yeah.
And also, anyone that will come to watch the show after listening to this will know you do that.
Yeah, guys, I know what's in that hat.
I know, he just kissed that hat.
He's kissed that hat. He kisses that hat with his little hands every day.
My heart. Now, before we get on to like all the bits and bobs, Simon said to me, I've never really met you.
No, I've worked with your sister.
Yeah, do you not remember?
I've seen you.
We had a picture. I came on stage after Elf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Do
I remember
you?
that. Well, I do now. I do now. I didn't before we were sat here, but now I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came back with Ben.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had a picture.
And we had a little picture on
And
stage.
I loved that.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
We'll talk about Elf. And there's also, I saw you another time and I honestly wanted the ground to swallow me up because I walked into Neuro Tour.
Yeah.
And it's kind of where a lot of the West End performers go for physio and all that malarkey.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, because I've seen you on stage and I know your fiance, like I know you.
Yeah.
And you were sitting down, I had my hat on.
I remember you were in a tracksuit, you had a long trench coat on.
Hi, are you okay? And I thought, oh my God, he doesn't even know.
I knew exactly who you were.
I was overthinking
But
that.
then you were out the door. So I was like, well, that was nice. She was very enthusiastic with the hello, but then she left really quickly. So maybe she was just being, maybe she's polite. She knows my missus. She's being polite, but she's out the door. She doesn't want to have a conversation.
I was like, why did I just do that? He doesn't know me. Why did I? And then the whole way, like when I was walking to Tottenham Court Road, I was like, why did I just do that? Is it idiot?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal overthinking. Yeah, phenomenal. Well, that's good. Well, next time we're in Neuro Tour, after we both had a rub down, just say hello.
Yeah, I will.
Just say a little hello. Hello, mate.
And now
How
I'm
you
going
doing?
to his wedding.
Yeah. That's
Which we're
very
gonna-
exciting.
I want to chat about that.
All right.
So you trained
Yeah,
at Arts Ed.
I did.
How many years ago?
Too many years ago. I'm almost dead. It was quite a long time ago, and I only stayed for a little bit.
Oh, did you?
I went at 16 years old to
Okay.
Arts Ed, 2 years before most people go to a drama college, and I just hated it.
Did you?
Every fibre of my being, I hated it.
Why? Why do you think?
Because it was very dance based, and I can put one foot in front of the other, but I don't want to dance.
You don't want to technically.
No, I don't.
You don't want to be doing pirouettes from the corner.
I don't care. When I get dizzy, I got motion sickness. Like every time they'd be like, and spin and turn, I'd just be like, oh, I feel sick. I need to sit down.
Yeah.
So also, I was quite a fat kid. So like wobbling around in tights is never good for a 16-year-old self-esteem.
No, it's not.
No,
It's not. It isn't.
awful. Anyone's self-esteem.
Yeah,
is
no,
exactly. Drama school, I don't think is good for. But
especially when you're in a group of, how many of you were in your year, and
God.
there's all that.
a lot.
Yeah.
But also, I was too young.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't mature enough. But I was also very strong-minded in that. Ever since I was a little boy, I've known what I wanted to do. I haven't really known that I wanted to be an actor, but I just knew that I loved entertainment. So when I was a little kid, I taught myself to juggle and play the piano and do magic and work a puppet. And I was just obsessed with learning how things worked. Sammy Davis Jr. would come out and he'd sit and he'd croon a beautiful song, and then he'd do a sketch, and then he'd do gunslinging. And I was like, I want to do that. And that's always what I wanted to do. So when I got to college, and I had been at Sylvia Young's before that.
Yes.
But when I got to Arts Ed, it was very much like conform, do this, be good at everything, just the right amount to get through.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help feeling like they never really encouraged anyone to shine or be individual.
True, authentic.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's different now. I think maybe college is a slightly different experience. I don't know, but
I think depending on the type of person you are, college can either make you grow
yeah.
or make you realise, I don't want to be put in that box.
Yeah. Where did you go?
I went to Erdang, and I've
And
got to
what was
say,
that like?
I loved it.
Yeah, right.
But I love being under a routine.
Uh-huh.
I love having people above me.
Yeah.
Like, I like to be not told what to do, but I work well in those situations.
Yeah. I don't.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think that's good that you're honest about your training, because a lot of people think it's the be all and end all.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not. I think the only thing that it actually helps you with is when you leave, if you've got an agent, there's just some kind of like brand recognition that just means like, it's like if you're going to go and buy paint, you'll go to B&Q or you'll go to Farrow and Ball. You won't go to like a little independent place that you've never heard of, because you're just a bit like, well, I don't know what that gives me.
Yeah.
So, and you should go there because you'll get a better price, but a better product, probably unique stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what I think it helps with. And it also does help with structure and routine and learning
foundation
discipline and drive and all of that sort of stuff. But at 16, when you're a cocky little boy.
And a Sylvia young boy.
Yeah, but they really nurture individuality.
Oh, do they?
Oh my God, everything is, who are you? And it's all all of your drama classes. I swear, everything that I have achieved is thanks to Sylvia Young.
Oh, I love that.
To that woman, that incredible woman. I was at a really posh school doing too many GCSEs in Latin and Greek civilization. I was meant to go to Oxford and be a lawyer and do all of that, which I know, but it would have been so much better for Georgina because she would have been in a really lovely house with security.
Imagine.
Yeah, but
she'd been with a lawyer.
Yeah, we wouldn't have met though.
No, I wouldn't be coming to the wedding.
No. I wouldn't have had you there. All of the lawyer people. But all of that, and I left. And Sylvia, I was bullied, and I was just good. You're bullied not because you should be, but you're bullied because you're just different to the normal group of boys. And I got to Sylvia's, and she was meant to, after a phone, I didn't know this until years later. My mum and dad called them and said, he really wants to come to your school, but he's doing well at this school. And she said, just bring him in and I'll tell him no, so I'll be the bad guy. And so they marched me off to Marylebone, and I chatted to her, and maybe I should have been a lawyer because I pled my case. And she said, sing me a little song. So I got on the piano and I sung Any Dream Will Do. And then she said, do you know any acting? And I did a speech from Midsummer Night's Dream. I did a bottom speech from Midsummer Night's Dream. And she went, oh, okay. And then she went back into my mum and dad and just went, I'm just going to keep him for a couple more hours. And they were like, what is happening here? This is not the plan. And then she said, you can start next week if you like.
Just talent.
Changed my life though.
Yeah.
That woman's confidence to just go, no, you'll do it.
You've got this.
You've got this.
And she was right.
Changed my life. I walked in on the first day, and there were all these kids there, and you would wear just like a t-shirt and joggers to school with the Sylvia's logo on it. And it was someone's birthday, didn't know whose, and they were like, can anyone play the piano? We should sing to them. And I was like, yeah, I'll play. So I played Happy Birthday, and all of those people, for the first time in my life, didn't mock me for singing and playing the piano. Yeah. They were like, that's amazing. And then we sung, and there were so many harmonies in that Happy Birthday rendition. Course. They lit a sparkler, an outside one, set off the fire alarms, and we all had to be evacuated. That was my first day at Sylvia's, and I was like, I'm home. Yeah. It was amazing.
I love that. Yeah. I love that so much. So you've had two different training experiences.
Yeah, very much.
And that's kind of the gist of people. You know, they've had iffy beginnings.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about, because I always kind of wait until the show you're in to speak last, but I don't. I want to speak to you about Oliver now.
Okay.
Revival at the Gielgud.
Yes.
Nominated for an Olivier.
Yeah.
So.
That was mad.
Your performance, I was sobbing.
Oh.
And I just think it's because I kind of know you through Georgina, and I was thinking of Georgina watching you, and I was thinking like, it was epic. It was the standout for me of the night.
Thank you.
How squeaky was your bum?
The squeakiest. I've got a big tuchus. That's the Jewish word for bum. Like, there's a lot to squeak, and it was squeaking.
Was it?
Oh.
Well, guys, when I tell you, this is one solo man on that big stage. Yeah. And how big is the audience?
At the Royal Albert Hall?
Yeah.
5,000?
Makes me feel physically sick.
Yeah, maybe something like that. It's somewhere in that range.
And when you're standing on stage, it kind of feels like the audience is coming over you.
They disappear. They you can sort of see people, and then you go, oh well, that's just the ceiling, and you're like, nope, that's more people.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot. But also, what was nerve-wracking about it is that on that night, that's everyone in the industry ever in one room and Idris Elba. Like there's so much going on in there. You're like, oh, this is everyone that can hold your career in their hands.
Oh yeah.
And everyone that you respect and love. And it was.
What was going through your mind that 10 seconds before you entered the room? Because you came running in.
Yeah, I did come running in from the stairs,
which I think was probably a really good.
The best thing.
Yeah.
The best. I did it deliberately.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was like, can I pelt in from somewhere? Because I was like, I'm going to have so much nervous energy that if I run have to run 300 yards around the Royal Albert Hall. That'll get all of that out. It didn't. It was still very much there.
Well, I think this is a credit to your massive career and all of the, I mean, you've had so many experiences, but it felt to me like no one was more in control than you in that moment.
That's very nice.
Like you did not, like it felt like you were so in control, and I just thought, wow.
That's nice. It was nerve-wracking. And also, there's technical things. That's a 7-minute song in the show.
I know.
And we had to do it in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And nothing is in time. It's all conductor-led or me leading the conductor. And I couldn't see him. And God. There were so many things that I was just like, oh, God, please don't let it go wrong. Don't let it go wrong. Don't let it go wrong. It's when I watch it, obviously, I hate it.
Oh, Simon!
But it's true. I hate it. It's over energized. The breathing's not in control. It's not quite focused enough. But then I take a little step back and I go, give yourself a break. Like, it's all right.
When you see you did that.
Yeah. Retrospectively, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
But do you want to know the schedule for that day?
I've heard. Go on, tell me from the start to finish.
Okay. Let's forget the week leading up to it with all the hours of stuff. Let's just go the day. 7 a.m. Leave for the Royal Albert Hall. This is after
a double show on the Saturday.
This is after the double show on the Saturday. So I've done 7 shows and full days of rehearsals for it leading up in the week. 7 a.m. Head to the Royal Albert Hall. Get there about 7:45. Get into full costume and makeup. Tech. So do that full song a few times. Wait a little minute. Do a dress rehearsal. So do the song again. Get on a motorbike. Get back to the theatre. Show's pretty much already started. The overture's playing. They're like,
did you do a Sunday?
I went and did the matinee. So get back to the theatre. Someone was just waiting with a bagel. The food of the Jews. And so ish. And then bagel, Fagin, matinee. Finish the matinee. By this point, slightly bleary-eyed.
Yeah.
Fagin, all the dirt and the muck and the wig and the hair, all of that off. Desperately try and get red carpet ready. Throw on my suit, back on a motorbike to get me back in time because the show finished with only about 15 minutes of the carpet left.
Okay.
So back on a motorbike, of which I've never ridden on the back of a motorbike. I've always ridden on the front of a motorbike.
Okay.
Quite a weird experience where you are sort of quite nervous. You've got your legs wrapped around a man that you've never met before. And every time he brakes quite hard because he's going fast, you are essentially entering him every time that motorbike puts its brakes on. And so you're thinking, I don't know you. There's nothing wrong with this because
I'm cheating on my fiance.
I'm cheating on my fiance. We're just 2 guys on a motorbike. It's fine. But that's happening. We get there, walk the carpet. Not many people are interested in me because Georgina's next to me she looked stunning. And I was like, well, rightly so. Take her picture, backstage, clothes off, back into Fagin, full dirt, full all of that, run to the back of the auditorium, do the performance, sit down, lose to John Dalglish. What a day in my career.
Lose to John.
And rightly so. He is like the man's a theatrical god. If I'm the king, he's the Messiah.
But it was a hard category, Simon.
It was a big category. I was also nominated opposite one of my best mates, your co-star, Jamie Moscato. Yeah, both first-time nominees. Thinking, well, we either both need to lose. So thank God John won. Because that would have been awkward. Because he's a groomsman. You're all coming. The entire cast of The Great Gatsby is coming to my wedding.
Well, that's a day in the history for you.
Yeah. So, but honestly, by the time that I sat down after it, I was so tired that when we got to the actual awards, also I had a speech from Cameron in my pocket if we won the Best Revival Award that he had written that I would have had to go and give. So I've gotten to sign that. We'll keep that one for a few years down the line. But yeah, it was a busy old day. But retrospectively, amazing.
One to remember.
What's also mad is that you spend 20 years going, I don't care about awards. And then the minute you get nominated for one, you're like, I care more than anything in the world about awards.
I know. But I think there's a danger in winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a danger in winning. Do you know why? I had Sam Tutty on.
Yeah.
He won Best Actor for...
During COVID, wasn't it?
It was during COVID.
Dear Evan Hansen.
And he won it.
Yeah.
And he said, I really thought, he really thought it was going to kind of
change
the trajectory of his career.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
It's not a thing here. It's amazing. And
the recognition's lovely.
The recognition is incredible. And it doesn't take, they're incredible. To win anything, to have anyone go, we loved you. That's a lovely thing. Just like when you walk out at the end and they all clap for you. It's a lovely feeling. But in America, they like, if you're just a nominee, it's like, okay, things are changing now.
Yeah.
But here we're like, yeah, I guess don't get too big for your boots.
Yeah.
We don't care.
But then the norm, you
phenomenal.
deserve
It's phenomenal.
more than anything.
Phenomenal.
You know?
Phenomenal.
What was the audition process like for Vegan?
It all happened in a week. I went in, I met Matthew and Cameron. I had a chat about what I might want to sort of do with it.
Okay.
Which I was
a meeting then?
It was, a meeting and an audition, they're all the same thing. You all end up singing and then just waiting by the phone, whether it's a meeting or an audition. So it doesn't really but yes, it was more of a, we did some stuff.
Okay.
We chatted lots. We did all of that. And then Cameron called me to his office just for a little chat. Cameron is the most hands-on producer. He loves to be involved and he cares, which is also why he's Cameron Mackintosh, because he deeply cares. So we chatted for a couple of hours, sat in his office, because he gave me my big break when I was 19 doing Avenue Q.
Yeah.
And so
we'll talk about.
We'll get back to that. And then I went in and we essentially did an X Factor boot camp final.
Wow.
So there were 2 Fagans, 2 or 3 Nancys, 3 Bill Sykeses, and they were like, right, you with you and you, you and you and you. Okay, switch it round, you and you and you.
That's my worst nightmare.
Do you know what? It was actually quite lovely.
Was it? Because you were like, I'm definitely getting it.
No, but the talent was insane.
Was it?
Who was there? It was insane. But actually, what's quite nice about it is that you go, that thing of like, I've got to go in there and I've got to do this once and it's got to count and I've got to make it work. You're like, no, I'm here for 6 hours and I'm going to do this 20 times.
Yeah.
So
let's enjoy it.
So let's just work. Let's just go to work, which is, I believe, how you should audition.
Yeah.
You shouldn't walk into any room thinking, I need to prove myself to you. You should walk into an audition room and go to work, for one. And you should go to work in exactly the way you want to do it. Might not work. Might not be right for them. But you walk out of that room going, this is how I'm going to play this part. And that's going to be the most authentic way that I can do it. And the realest way, and you're going to get the most out of me playing it this way. If this ain't what you want,
that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll go for the other person because that's better for your jigsaw puzzle.
But that comes with experience, this attitude.
Yeah, but there's no reason for age or length of career to impact that attitude. Like, just walk in, you know how you want to play the character. And if it is nothing, don't show them what you think they want to see.
Yeah.
Because that's not what they want. No. Just do you, and it will either make them go, we have never thought about it like that. Oh my God, that. Or they'll just go, that's super interesting, but it's not right for this. But either way, you walk out with your head held high going, I've just gone to work. That's all I did. I just went to work.
That's amazing. You are literally like, have you ever thought about writing a book?
No. Dyslexic. I'll do an audiobook.
That would be amazing.
But it'll be the first audiobook that isn't based on a book.
Yeah.
Which is a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right.
No, don't bother.
All right.
OG Cast Avenue Q.
Yeah.
That's a bit mental, that.
That was a good one.
And that was your first big break, like you just said.
That was a big one. I'd done Joseph in the West End before that, but that was
OG Cast.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
Could do the voices, could work a puppet.
That was for you.
That was for me. That was for me.
That was for you.
That was not 1 week's audition. That was months. That was 11 auditions. And puppet schools and voice schools because of all of the extremes that we had to do.
And that's where you met John Robbins.
That's where I met John Robbins. That cast was the most amazing cast because there were so few of us.
Yeah.
John Robbins, Giles Terrera, MBE, Julie Atherton, our understudies in this show. This is the thing, it's even the understudies. My cover was this guy, he's sort of just drifted off called Luke Evans, the movie star, was my cover. Giles's cover was Matt Henry, MBE. John's cover, Gabriel Vick, Mrs. Doubtfire.
What?
Claire Foster leading was in the cast as well, covering Julie playing Mrs. T, doing all of that stuff. This cast were like you wouldn't believe.
Would you put in your bio on Instagram,
Yeah.
Luke Evans was my cover once?
Do you think that'd be a nice thing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, then we'll do it. Should we change it now?
That is the biggest I've ever heard.
Who's it good for?
You.
It's not. It's not. I'm
John
sorry.
Roberts' wedding.
Yeah.
He asked me to ask you about.
Don't worry about it. Maybe I was meant to sign the registry and be the witness and do a reading, and maybe I was late and I didn't turn up and I missed it and I turned up just as the photo started. Next question.
Okay.
He's my best man. Whether he wants to turn up or not is on him. All right? Let's not fall out over a
Okay.
podcast.
He said, ask Simon about my wedding. I
Yeah,
said, okay.
of course he did.
Elf.
Yes.
I mean, I saw you.
Yeah. What did you think of my wig?
No, Simon, I just don't think you understand. Your comedy timing and humour is up my street. Everything you did, like, I was hysterical, belly laughing. Like, British comedy.
Yeah.
Is it an American script?
Yeah, the Americans wrote it.
Yeah, well, you, like, no one could have played that role better than you.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have fun doing it?
Yeah, I loved it. It was hard because I hadn't done a musical in a little while. I've been doing telly and all of that kind of stuff mainly. But and I'm not really a singer. Like, I can sing, but I'm not really like a technical singer, and I smoke way too much, and like, I don't look after myself at all. I don't do cool downs after the show or even really warm up. I just like go, well, I'm sure it'll be there today, and go for it.
If you've got a siren.
And usually I don't. Georgie laughs so much because in the morning I go, like, that's what comes out. And I'm like, it'll be fine. And she's like, I can't. I can't. So it was amazing. And they let me play around with the script a little bit.
They trusted you.
And rewrite that. I do that.
Did you rewrite?
Yes, but everything was through the
Officials.
incredible writers. I would write down everything and write like line options and send it to them, and they'd be like, we like this, this, and this.
You know what's going to work with the British audience.
I just also, in that way, I like to just look at something and I'm like, well, if I'm going to do it, let me do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get scripts where you're like, oh my God, this is perfect. And sometimes you're just like, this is an out and out comedy. And I reckon there's a joke missing there and a joke missing there and a joke missing there.
Instincts.
Yeah. And as long as you're respectful about it.
Yeah.
And don't just be like, I'm going to do it whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's the attitude towards it. Yeah.
So like with Cameron, I've rewritten loads of Fagin stuff. And done little bits of improv and ad-lib, but I just run it all past him and I would write it and I would give it to him and he would go, I like that, I don't like that, I like that. And then we go from there.
It's
and
like
then after a while, they trust you.
Yeah.
And then away you go. But Elf was fun with your sis.
With my sis, so Simon did it with Jade.
Yeah.
And that's where you met. We've been talking about Georgie, which is Georgina Castle. We've
Georgina
had her on the
Castle.
podcast. She's playing Regina George in Mean Girls right now.
Yeah.
And she's just announced today she's doing 51st Dates.
51st Dates,
Which,
yes.
I knew it was coming. I had no idea she was doing it.
Oh, she's so excited.
I mean, she's perfect.
Yeah, she
She's
is.
perfect for every role she does.
Yeah, I'm punching. Like, it's like into an...
Crazy.
And I'm glad you agree because...
but I just don't think it's Georgina Castle.
I know, but when you look at her exes, and I'm not kidding, and she won't mind me saying this, they are, what's the plural for Adonis? Adonai? They are a collection of Adonai, Greek statuettes. They are either multimillionaires, washboard abbed models, and then this chubby little Jew boy turns up, and I was in a ginger wig that was ill-fitting. I swear to God, I looked like slight budget Ginger Trump. Like, I looked awful. I was almost 20 stone, and somehow she fell in love with me.
I know why.
Why?
Because you laughed her into bed. And that always
Don't
works,
touch me. It's
Simon.
uncomfortable. Take your hands off me after you've spoken about that.
But when you see you two together,
I've gone.
It's the biggest power couple of our industry.
Yeah, she's better than I am at everything. She's a better human than I am. She's smarter. She's the most intelligent woman. She's beautiful. She's talented. Like,
her tummy, like the skin on her tummy. I was always so jealous of it because she's got like the best abdominal section I've ever seen.
Yeah. Let's put a baby in that and ruin that. So
she's annoyingly nice.
Yeah.
She loves to party.
She loves it.
That is where we bonded.
Yeah, that's good.
I was like, you're my type of gal.
Yeah, and we're opposite.
Are you?
I just want to be left alone.
Really?
Oh, just leave me. I want to be at home with a magic book and a cup of tea and a bit of telly, and she can go out and have the best time in the world, and I'll give her a cuddle when she gets home. Oh. That's great. You go do your thing.
Have you got a brother?
Yeah.
Is he single?
No, he's married.
Oh, wait, I'm married too.
You are. Are you married?
I just bought a house with him.
Oh,
so I basically am.
That's exciting.
Other things, before we move on to Patreon, I just want to name a few of the things. Wind in the Willows, Guys and Dolls, Nativity, Brian and Roger, The Lorax, Assassins, Rock of Ages, Spamalot, Joseph. Favourite contract out of them?
Oh my God, Assassins at the Mania Chocolate Factory, directed by Jamie Lloyd, with the most incredible cast I've ever worked with.
I love that.
Yeah.
Jamie Lloyd.
Yeah.
Legend, isn't he?
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very
I don't
cool.
think I'll ever be in one of his shows, but like I love watching
You
them.
never know. This is the thing about Jamie Lloyd. He just will be like you.
Okay.
And he's just because he's just got it in his mind.
Yeah.
So you never say never.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening. And I have got the funniest questions to ask Simon for our Patreon listeners. So see you there.
Okay, bye.
Bye.